Developing right now in Iraq, Syrian Kurdish fighters are making progress there, pushing out ISIS forces that have overtaken some of the cities. Those fighters have also carved out an escape route for the millions of innocent victims trapped on a mountaintop. And for the first time, many are getting the food and water they need and a much-needed chance to rest. In the meantime, Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki has apparently been forced from power, but is trying to hold on because, as you know, a new leader has been chosen. And as the violence rages there in Iraq, those here in the States watching the developments very closely.
Especially those who left Iraq the last time violence erupted. New at 5:30, Beairshelle Edmé talks with one young man about his own experience fleeing from the war-torn nation. Beairshelle, what can you tell us about the story?
Well, Marcia, for 5 years, Fadi Antoine has been living in the U.S. Now an American citizen, he calls America home. But he can't help but remember the Iraq he left behind and now the state it's in.
A political refugee, Fadi Antoine and his family were forced from his homeland, Iraq. He says the current state of the country is all too familiar.
It's a very sad moment to see many people are being forced to leave their houses and leave all the money and what they own behind and start their life from zero. Just because their faith is different than the people who occupy the city.
The Wright State student says his family was fortunate enough to flee before militant groups could catch them. But many in Iraq cannot escape groups like ISIS. And even as a refugee, he says life can still be a struggle. For those shuffling throughout Iraq to escape persecution, he believes they'll suffer without U.S. aid.
And imagine the number of Yazidis who have been trapped in the mountain, estimated around 40,000 civilians, trapped with no access to food, with no access to water.
He says the recent U.S. airstrikes and relief airdrops are a step in the right direction. But Antoine also wants more awareness, and he challenges other refugees and citizens alike to take action.
We say the question again, does history repeat itself? Yeah, it does repeat itself, because we have seen what happened in the past to the Jewish, who were a minority group in Iraq, and what's happening also to the Christian and Yazidi right now. I think we need to take immediate action to prevent genocide from happening.
Antoine says in the coming days he hopes to see Iraq and U.S. diplomats find a solution. Otherwise, he fears ISIS will remain a powerful threat to the region. In the studio, Beairshelle Edmé, 2 News, working for you.